Welcome to part 2 of the Basic Monster for Beginners guide series for Zbrush. Alright, so we're going to work with selections a little bit. The whole point of this series is to get beginners of Zbrush up and started and to teach them basic techniques that are useful in all 3D sculpting. So what we're going to be doing, you can just hit B, C, B to get a brush, and then hold in Control to mask. So you can click or use your stylus. The stylus will have a bit of a fade to it. If you click, it'll be like harsh, as you can see here. So you can use either, but basically what we want to do, I'm actually using the mouse here, is select this. You can just add more by hitting Control. So we just want to select all of this here. And you can remove from the selection by holding Control and Alt. So that's useful if you select more than what you want. And then you can increase and decrease the brush size so that as you're refining your selection, you're doing so with precision. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of select this here, and then we can add in like little things, like little cracks. Because I've decided this is going to be like some kind of egg monster. Alright, and then once we have that, we can reduce the brush size. Kind of paint this little pattern into the selection. So it's like cracked. Alright, and then we're going to invert the selection by control clicking off the model. Then you can hit W to bring up your gizmo, and you can scale it. We're going to scale it a little bit, then go up. So it should create this type of appearance. And then Dynamesh should still be enabled. So we're just going to Dynamesh that. So now we have like this like eggshell thing, and we're going to do the same thing for the top. So we're going to hit BCB just to bring up any kind of brush. Then just kind of paint in this. Then we can add in the crack details, like the cracked shell parts, by creating like these globs and then refining them by holding in Control to paint the mask, and then Control Alt to paint away or to cut into the mask. And we'll do some up here, kind of balance it a bit, and then invert the selection by control clicking off the model, hit W to bring up the gizmo, scaling it up, and we'll bring it down, and then just control click and drag to deselect, and then control click and drag to Dynamesh. So it's now been Dynameshed twice. So now you have this like egg thing. This like guy that's like stuck in an egg. That's breaking out of the egg. He's very upset. It's basically an egg yolk guy creature thing. But let's say we want to make it a little bit creepier. So the first thing I want to do is increase the Dynamesh to like 200. And then let's just like add a detail. Because if you Dynamesh, you usually need to add, like make some change to Dynamesh again. So now Dynamesh again. So now we're a little bit higher detailed, but what we're going to do is we're going to hit BCB for clay buildup and sculpt on this egg. We'll make it like an unnatural egg, because like if it's just a flat egg, that's kind of boring for a creature. So we'll make the egg kind of cool and weird. So we'll start to add like weird shapes to it to make it more distinct from a normal egg. We'll add like a pattern type thing to it with symmetry on. So X turns on symmetry. Alright, we'll do the same. Let's build this up a little bit here. And kind of connect it to the rest. Then we'll go down here and sculpt some in here. continue building up this part to give him more mass. Because right now he's like still too spherical, but you know, an egg is more like an oval, so we'll kind of add some mass up top so that the overall silhouette appears more egg-like now that this is an egg creature. We have figured out the design of the creature. So I'm just sculpting with the clay build-up brush, nothing too crazy. Alright, so here's what we have right now. And if you want to change your material so you can check shadows, there's materials here. Basic material is a good one to use. It has the ability to adjust this for lighting. And there's other materials like that, like basic material 2 also has like highlights. Now these materials can't really be exported and used, so this is not part of texturing at all. This is just for like visualizing it while you're working on it. So basic material 1 I find is pretty useful. But you can kind of see, you can check like different shadows. So this is actually kind of looking like a little creepy creature. One thing I want to do for final adjustments is bring out the move tool BMV, increase the brush size a bit, keeping symmetry on. I want to drag parts of this around to make like big adjustments to it. So now it looks like some like creepy thing coming out of an egg. And we'll sculpt more into it as well as we go to make it look more like a monster, because right now it looks kind of funny. So we'll make it look more creepy, spooky, Halloween-y. Then we'll adjust this a little bit. Alright, so there's our little weird egg thing. Little weird egg creature. I'm just making fine-tune adjustments, holding Alt. So if you hold an Alt, and like if you drag up and down, or even left and right, you can see like what it does. So like if you can like bump things up with the move brush, regardless of the angle, to kind of like fill it out. It's pretty useful to know to do that, to know how to do that. So every time you see the minus, that means I'm holding an Alt and like bumping out the shape a bit. We'll add some creepy details to the egg shell as well. Let's see. I think this part's a little bit too forward. Let's bring that in a little bit. Bring this down a little bit. Alright, so there's our creepy little egg started. It almost looks like a Baelet from Berserk to some degree. We will resume working on this. We'll start refining it and adding little details here. I'm just working with one shape for now. I'll show you how to add extra shapes in future videos. Maybe we'll do like cracked shell pieces. I think that'd be good, so I'll include that in this video. But that's it for this one. Definitely like and subscribe if you found this useful. And also drop a comment, let me know what you think. And yeah, that's it for this one. Thanks for checking this out.